Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Bob and Dick and Roshi and Zeke, Shanti, all the volunteers at the Book Center for the wonderful love and hospitality that you've given us this weekend. Welcome to our most distinguished guests, which includes everybody here. Thank you to all of you who've traveled long distances. And thank you to Dr. Sumana Pinamechu, who came from Indiana. Thank you to those of you who came from Mount Shasta. Thank you to people who came from all over the country and all over California to be here with us today to share a great love for the Lord and to have the opportunity to experience Him in each other and to know that it's with all of us together radiating our love that we will bring in the golden age of peace and plenty, despite all appearances to the contrary. And now let's bow our heads for a moment of prayer. Gracious Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you for this precious opportunity to share our love for you with friends old and new by revealing how you've transformed our minds, hearts, character, and lives in ways seemingly large and seemingly small. Thank you for every difficult person who's been our mirror. Thank you, Lord, for every dire and challenging event. Thank you, Swami, for every daunting disaster and for every seeming loss. We have no idea why you've graced us so tremendously, and we never ever take any blessing or gift or inspiration or insight for granted. We know they're only given to be immediately given away. Lord, please speak, think, act, heal, and love through us until our last breath. Amen. Now, you can open your eyes. As has been said, the title of this talk is Astonishing Love, Alchemy of the Heart. It was 31 years ago, on my birthday, almost to the day, when Jim and I were living in the Republic of Singapore. We were both working there. I was working as a management consultant. That on my birthday, 3 quite unusual things happened. The first was that I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, told it was probably inoperable, and that I should hasten home to the U.S. immediately to have surgery, and that I probably wouldn't survive that surgery. It was probably inoperable. The second thing that happened was that our good friend, Len Rodrigo, who was an attorney, told us that Satya Sai Baba, who had already appeared to me a year before, was in fact God, the Supreme Being, the creator of the cosmos, on earth now, the one I had been searching for an entire year, all over Asia, traveling by bus, jitney, ferry, airplane, taxicab, dugout canoe, elephant back, anything that moved, looking for my Lord, knowing, as he had told me a year before, I am the one you have been seeking all of your life. I am alive and living in Asia. Come and find me. So on my birthday, just an hour after I had been diagnosed with a brain tumor, Len said, ushering us into his inner office and showing us a 6-foot-tall picture of Swami, "This is Satya Sai Baba, Father, Mother of Truth. He's God. I've seen him. He's real. He's genuine. He's the one you and everyone else on the earth has been praying to all of your life." That evening, after I went to sleep and Jim had come back from a trip to Borneo and was very, very tired, we both fell asleep, and there was a tapping on my shoulder. I thought that Jim had awakened and wanted to tell me something. But no. There, standing in our bedroom, was Satya Sai Baba. And fortunately, I had just seen what he looked like. I had just understood who he was and what his name was. And there he was, radiating out the most palpable, tremendous love, saying, I am Satya Sai Baba, and I love you. I love you. I have come to ask you to bring your husband and come to India immediately, and I will heal you. And then he disappeared. I went back to sleep, and then a short while later, there was another tap on my shoulder. I awakened, and there were beloved Jesus and beloved Gautama Buddha standing side by side. And I thought, oh no, this must be a really big brain tumor. It's going to get me ready to go to heaven, and it's going to take two of them just to break the bad news. Sai Baba was just trying to say that, but they're really going to level me with the truth. So I said, Jesus, what are you doing here? I'd seen Jesus and Mary before, and angels since I was a child, and had heard the Om in my head since I was 3 years old, and loved all the saints and sages of all the religions. But for two major ones to come at the same time on the same day, it could only mean bad news. So I said, what are you doing here? You've come to get me ready for heaven, haven't you? Okay, I'm ready. I've done all my forgiveness work all along the way. I'm ready to go. So, okay. And they just laughed. And they said, no, we haven't come to get you ready for heaven. We've come to tell you some very important things that you need to know now. Because on this day, your life is going to change forever. First, Jesus spoke. And he said, now we're going to show you a scene. And we want you to tell us what you see. So very gracefully, they indicated the white wall of the bedroom, and all of a sudden, a movie appeared. And they said, what do you see? I said, it looks like it's a beach scene at sunset. Not quite sunset, but almost. And the waves are lapping on the sand. And there's something there. We were about 40 feet up in the air, all three of us. I said, oh my goodness, there's a giant footprint on the sand, and it's about 30 feet long. Wow, is that your footprint, beloved Jesus? And he said, no, sort of smiling. I said, it's not your footprint? And there's only one, not two, just one. He said, no. I said, oh, beloved Gautama, it's your footprint. And he said, no, it's not my footprint. And I said, okay, I give up. Whose footprint is it? And what is that thing down in the footprint, in the heel of the footprint? They said, let's go closer. So we zoomed down to about 10 feet above the giant footprint in the sand. And I could see there was a little person standing in it. It looked like a midget. It was a woman. And we could see her from the top. I said, oh, it's a lady down there. And they said, yes, who do you think that is? Let's get a little closer. So as we got closer, I said, oh, that's me. That's me standing in the heel of the footprint. What does that mean? And they said, beloved heart, this is how you currently conceive of yourself. It's very small. You are misidentified with your body, mind, and emotions. You do not understand what lies before you. Sooner or later, in every lifetime, every human on the earth eventually must not only understand cognitively that they are divine, but they must arise into their divine state, and they must fill a giant footprint, and they must become a spiritual giant on the planet, and they must help awaken other people that they too are divine and not small, not lacking, not unworthy. And I said, that's going to happen in this lifetime? And they said, yes. But the thing that we have come to tell you that is most important is that not only is your life going to change in many profound and amazing ways, But you are about to embark upon something that you agreed to before this embodiment, and you have completely forgotten about it. It's absolutely essential that you understand this. Before you entered this embodiment, you went before the karmic board, and you requested permission to combine all of the karma of your last 2 lifetimes so that you could skip a lifetime, as it were, like skipping a grade in school. You said, I am ready to be finished with planet Earth. I want to attain self-realization in the next lifetime. I want to attain ascension. And I request the opportunity to have it all brought on. I will be able to meet it. And that permission was given to you by the karmic board. You were such an ardent soul before coming into the body. And now there will be a 21-year period when you are about to meet the karma of 2 lifetimes. And there will be accidents, illnesses, injuries, loss, humiliation, separation, conflict, attack. And this is Gautama Buddha speaking. He said, Jesus and I were concerned that you would become discouraged after coming into the body and that you might waver. We have been with you since you were born, since you took your first breath, just as we are with everybody when they take their first breath. And we will be with you until you take your last breath. And we want you to know that in embarking on this very challenging period of a 21-year time of the most unimaginable challenges, we are right there with you. We will be encouraging you. We will be sending you love every day, every step of the way. And just know, you will meet the test. You will succeed in the challenges. Just know that every single person on the earth ultimately must come to the time when he is finished with the illusions and he is ready to step forward, step into the footprints of divinity, and to reclaim his true nature, to come to establishment in God consciousness in the heart, and to stay there. We love you. We love you. We love you. And then they disappeared. Now, they didn't say that things were going to start off at a gallop. They did not say that we would be having an interview with Satya Sai Baba in 3 weeks, that he would manifest vibhuti, say, here, eat this, and you will be healed, and that we would be healed on the spot, instantaneously, which we were. They didn't tell us that yours truly would be taking 48 groups of sick people to India over the next 30 years. They didn't say that we would be invited to speak about Baba virtually immediately, and that we would be giving over 1,300 talks, that would be traveling to 57 countries, that would be invited to speak on radio and TV for decades about Swami. They did not mention any of that. So the path was a mystery. We had no idea how it was going to unfold. After the first trip and the first interview, when Swami healed me on the spot, and I began to voraciously read all of his teachings, it became quite obvious there would be no point in going back to India until I had changed my ways. At the time that we first met the Lord, I'm ashamed to tell you these things, but I was an extremely rajasic, aggressive person. Everything in my walk-in closet, in my wardrobe, was red. Red shoes, red handbags, red luggage, red shirts, dresses, everything was red because I was just so fiery and angry and extremely restless. The other thing was that he showed me in my inner sight that chewing gum was extremely unattractive, and so I immediately gave up chewing gum. I also drove very fast, over the speed limit most of the time, and got a lot of speeding tickets. I was always in a hurry to get where I was going, probably endangering myself and others. And one day I saw a sign that it's better to be 5 minutes late to your destination rather than 40 years too early in heaven. And I realized, yes, there's no need to push it and to disobey the speeding laws. I also was very impatient. If I couldn't find a parking lot or I felt I didn't have time to feed the meter, I would just go off, and I got lots of boots on my car, lots of parking tickets. It was not a very pleasant experience for the people that had to deal with me. So the upshot is that from 1982 until 1985, there was an obvious need for tremendous reform. So we set about the process of not going back to India until there had been some change and some deepening and some surrender of things that were no longer necessary. Now, in 1985, Swami called us in for an interview, and he said, I am giving you a ring. He waved his hand, and out came a teardrop-shaped Panchaloha 5-metal ring with 9 different gemstones on it. He said, these gemstones represent the protection of the malevolent influences of 9 planets upon you. This ring is a talisman of protection. This ring will do a lot for you, and I'm giving it to you today on Shankara's birthday. And I said, who is Shankara? And he indicated that I had been one of 4 disciples of Shankara that had set up a mat, M-A-T-H, a university, a monastery, to study Vedanta, non-duality, and that I would be doing that again in this lifetime in the way of teaching about non-duality, and that all is consciousness, consciousness is love, we are that. Om Tat Sat Om, and that's all there is. That's all that's important. But at the time we knew none of that. Now, shortly after we experienced that interview, one of many that he blessed us with, in order to chastise yours truly over and over and over, there were many lessons that came forth, and it began to be obvious that he designs a unique curriculum for each one of us. Every one of us has a special program that takes into account our past, present, and future lives and experiences, our consciousness, our dharma, our karma, our misidentifications with body, mind, emotions, with gender, with nationality, with race, with what we think we are doing here, with our jobs, our titles, our contributions, our so-called contributions. Actually, he doesn't need any of us to further his program. He gives us little jobs in order to keep us busy and out of trouble, and he is the puppet master pulling our strings the whole way. After coming back to the States, I was invited to a friend's house who lived about an hour away from our house for a workshop to be given in the evening from about 7 to 10. It would be a workshop attended by women. There would be about 20 people there who had something to do with spirituality and consciousness. And as the workshop was winding down, it was about 5 minutes to 10, and before refreshments were going to be served, all of a sudden I heard Swami's voice. Get up now. Tell the hostess, you're sorry you can't stay for refreshments. Thank her quickly. Get out the door. Grab your purse, get out the door, run down the sidewalk, jump in your car. Quick. So immediately, I did just that and was saying, thank you so much. I had a wonderful time. I'll call you tomorrow. I'm sorry I can't stay. I have an hour to drive and I must go now. It's late. Please forgive me. Thank you so much. So I could not understand why I must speed out the door, rush down the sidewalk. Her house was situated in a very upscale area where each home was set on a lawn of an acre. There were no street lights. There were no sidewalks. It was an absolutely exquisite area, lots of beautiful landscaping, old trees, gorgeous flowering shrubs, and so on. It was pitch black outside. So I ran down the sidewalk, which was a very long sidewalk, was looking around in the shadows, and I'm not a fraidy cat. I have been blessed with courage in this lifetime. So I was just wondering, what was he indicating? So I felt some malevolent vibrations in the shrubbery that I had to go past, zoom past, opened my car, quickly got in, locked the doors, and started driving away. The next day, I got a call from the hostess, and she said, "I am so glad you left when you did. We all thought it was very odd because you usually give these long, lingering goodbyes, and it takes us all 15 minutes to hug each other and catch up on the news, and you just shot out the door. But guess what happened after you left? Just 3 or 4 minutes after you went out the door, Janie went out. And she left the front door open, and all of a sudden we heard her shrieking and screaming, 'Help! Help! Help! No! Don't! Help! 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 No! Help!' She said we all ran out the door, we ran down the steps, and there was Janie lying on the sidewalk, just battered, bruised, bloody, and in shock. And we lifted her up, we got her into the house, and after she could finally speak, she said, 3 men in black clothing and black masks jumped me, and they started punching me and beating me, and then they were trying to drag me somewhere, and I kept fighting them off, and I kept saying, oh God, save me, save me. And she said, finally, she stayed overnight with us, she calmed down, and she got over her shock. But that could have been you. What made you rush out? I said, my teacher, Satya Sai Baba, said, get up now. I felt the ring on my finger vibrating for the first time ever, and he said, leave now, so I did, and I'm just so sorry about Janie. So he said this ring would save my life, and I thought, how could a ring save a person's life? But I'm so grateful and I'm so sorry about Janie. The next time that we had the experience of being protected and warned by Baba was that we'd been invited, that is, yours truly, to speak at the Spiritual Unity of the Guides of the Tribes gathering in Nambe, Pueblo, New Mexico, to a group of about 500 people from throughout the world, mostly indigenous people, about the life, the teachings, and the miracles of Satya Sai Baba. We were very thrilled to be invited, and stayed at a simple motel the night before the talk. I was going to be meeting all the different people from the nations and the tribes, and then all of a sudden an energy came down upon me, and then Baba said, look at the wall. I looked at the wall, and there a movie, a film, began to unfold. Swami said to me, tomorrow at the gathering, after your talk, someone is going to try to kill you. This is what he looks like. And as I stared, transfixed at the wall, the unfolding movie, I saw a young, 25-ish Indian man with a ponytail, a red baseball cap, a red plaid shirt, jeans, and white tennis shoes. And Baba said, that's the one. Be still. When he approaches you and tries to choke you and ram your head against a tree, send love from every chakra along the midpoint of your body. Stand still and send love. Oh, okay, Lord. The next day, people gathered under the sacred arbor. Various speakers talked. Finally, it was an hour before noontime lunch. It was my turn to speak, and I spoke about Baba. People were listening with bated breath. Their eyes were huge, amazed that such a being would be on the earth now, and that he didn't require people to change their religion. He only required them to be loved. They didn't have to earn his love. They only needed to need him and his help. And it was thrilling to experience their open hearts and their devotion for Great Spirit, Wakantanka. Then, about 5 minutes from the end of the talk, one of the men in the front, whose name was Michael, was about 50 years old, with a white ponytail, and he was wearing jeans, and he kept going, pointing down to the calf of his jeans. So while I was talking, I glanced down, and I had mentioned what vibhuti was, what it looked like, that it's sacred ash, it can appear anytime, anywhere, and when it appears on a person's body, their clothes, their hair, their shoes, their altar, their car, their purse, their computer, their pictures, their statues. It's a great blessing. And it means, I love you, I'm with you. And it also reminds us that we're not the body, mind, and emotions, and that we should not cling to anything. We are just passing through this dream. So he was very excited that Vibhuti had appeared on his jeans right there during the talk. And I thought, oh, good, maybe the assassination has been called off. Well, of course, we can never make any assumptions about anything. The mind is a story-making mechanism. That's what it does. The egoic mind loves to create stories, trauma, anything to keep us separate from Atma, from Source, from being in the heart. So we finished the talk, and everybody rushed over to the food line, and I thought, well, I'll wait until the food line goes down, and it looks like nobody that seems aggressive is here. Well, we just passed that test. Everything is fine now. So it was hot. I walked over to the shade and leaned up against a tree, and at that moment, from out of nowhere, came the young man in the vision from the day before. And he started yelling out. I was all alone. There was nobody around, and they had gone to the other end of the property. And he said, yes, here you are. I'm going to kill you. I am going to kill you. I am going to choke you and break your neck. And as he was gesturing with his hands and squeezing motions, he walked menacingly closer and closer with murder in his eyes. He said, yes, I'm going to kill you now. I wanted to kill you for a long time. Today is the day that I do it. And it's your fault that we Indians are alcoholic. It's your fault that we're on drugs. It's your fault that we're unemployed. It's your fault that we're a wreck. It's you, white people. You did it to us. And here you are. You did this to me. You did this to me. So I was thinking, okay, stand still, don't move. Send love from all of the chakras along the midline. And I backed up and realized, oh, this is the tree. This is the tree. Here I am. It's a big tree. I can't get away. He's coming closer. All right, love. So I allowed love to extend as he came closer and closer and closer. And then he said, oh, sister, I can't kill you. I can't kill you. You're good. You're a good person. I don't even know you. I don't want to kill you, sister. You've done nothing to me. When you were talking, I wanted to believe so much in this Sai Baba person. I wanted to believe he loves me and knows me. He said he loves and knows everybody. I wanted to believe it. Then I thought, no, he doesn't know you. He doesn't know. He doesn't love you. And I thought it's too good to be true. And I thought, well, I'll just kill her and get it over with. So I started to make a big ball of hate in my gut, like I have my whole life. Whenever I would see a white, I thought, yes, they did it to us. And so I created this big ball of hate. But this time it didn't work. It just kept falling apart. And I thought, I'm going to make it work. And when I get my ball of hate together, I'm going to go and break her neck. That's what I'm going to do. And it just kept falling apart. And every time I looked at you, I couldn't hate you. I wanted to hate you so much, but I couldn't hate you. And I just don't know what to do. And then he lunged toward me, and then he landed on me like a big St. Bernard, and he just started crying and slobbering all over my shirt. That comes with the territory, so that's all right. And then he said, what am I going to do, sister? So there I was going there, like burping a big baby. And it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Everything's fine now. It's fine. You're going to be fine. And I was thinking, Swami, this is so ironic. Aside from the fact that he threatened to break my neck just a moment ago, he seems like a very sweet person. And so he was just crying and saying, what will happen to me? I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do about my drinking, and I don't know what to do to feel God, and I'm such a mess. And I said, no, you're not a mess. That's just a story your mind has made up. You're lovable. You are love itself. And the drinking was probably just the only way that you tried to be able to stifle all the pain of your life. And it didn't work. It only worked so long. But then ultimately it doesn't work. Because then you want to drop your story, you want to drop your addictions, and you long to come home in the heart. God is going to help you. He loves you. Wakantanka, Great Spirit loves you. I love you. You are lovable. So then he said, but what will I do? I said, he'll show you. He'll show you how to get help for your drinking. He'll show you how to love and accept yourself. The only thing missing from this equation, God loves you, Wakantanka loves you, I love you, is for you to stop hating yourself and any other person and just accept yourself and know that you are fine just the way you are. Then he went wobbling off toward the arbor and disappeared. And I thought, oh, Swami, thank you for that opportunity. That poor sweet boy. And please help him. Please help him find you in his heart. It was 2 years later that Swami had another opportunity for us, another lesson. We were invited to speak about Baba once again in Houston to a club that was a metaphysical club for women of about 200 people. And they had said that they had monthly speakers, there would be a lovely dinner, there would be about 20 round tables seating 10 people each with lovely crystal and china, table service, beautiful food, and then I would be speaking from a stage while the people were eating their dinner, and then afterwards they would have tables of metaphysical things such as t-shirts, crystals, reflexology charts, massage tables for sample massages and so on, the usual things that you find at metaphysical fairs and event evenings and so on. I was thrilled to be invited to Houston to speak about Swami. The night before the talk, Swami appeared and said, tomorrow, during the talk, someone is going to try to kill you. I thought, not again. Oh no. All right. Okay, Lord, fine. This is obviously a test. We will meet the test. So I waited for a description and indication. Will this be a man or a woman? No indication. How will I know who it is? What will we do? How close will they get? What will happen? How will they try to do it? Will we pass the test and be successful? So, no answer, no response. The next thing we decided to do was to call our friend Pat, who was a member of the club and who invited us to come. I said, Pat, remember I told you about that Indian guy that said he wanted to kill me 2 years ago at the Native American gathering? She said, well, yes, I do. And I said, well, Baba gave me another vision. Somebody's going to try to kill me tomorrow. She said, well, is it a man? Is it a woman? Who is it? I said, I have no idea. This time, there was no clue. So with the Lord, every day is different, every circumstance is different. We cannot be formulaic about anything. It does not work. We have to be present, alert, aware in every moment. So she is a Southern belle and said, well now honey, I'll tell you what, you know my husband is a retired Air Force officer and he has 9 other friends and they all play football in high school and college and they are strong and they are fit. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a table of 10 right in front of you, right in front of the stage, and we'll just tell them, get ready. And if anybody dares to touch a little hair on your head, they'll be sorry that they did. So don't you worry, we've got it under control. We Texas people are can-do people, and we've got it covered. So I said, that's a great idea. 10 big guys, they're all over 6'1", and they know what to do. And so I said, that's great. And she said, you know, we're all very open-minded people, and I just want you to know there will be nobody there that will reject your message. They want to hear about Baba. We've been paving the way. We've been handing out books and showing videos. Everybody is eager. There is nobody that is against the program. We are open-minded people. We are so open-minded that last year we had the Dalai Lama here. And I just want to tell you, he went over real big. He's such a sweet man. And what we did was to surprise him. We had so much love for him that we decided when he got off the plane, we were going to sing Hello Dolly, and we did. Oh. Not only that, you know, we're all from Louisiana, then we moved to Texas, and we did Can-Can, you know, Riddlers and Spirits, Hello Dolly, and it's so nice to have you back where you belong. You should have seen the look on that man's face. Right, his eyebrows shot up, his mouth fell open, and you could tell nobody had ever done that for him before. Oh, he was so pleased, you could just tell. And we were thrilled he was pleased. And right after that, I got a new little puppy, and I called her Dolly, D-O-L-L-Y, after the Dalai Lama. And it was just a wonderful experience. And I thought, oh, the sweetness of Texans. That's what they wanted to do, something unique. And I'm sure he never forgot it. And it was a very successful time. So she said, so you see, we're open-minded. We have all kinds of speakers, and we give them our maximum love. Don't you worry about a thing tomorrow. So the next day, we met all the people that had been involved in the arrangements. We met the organizer, the president of the club, the videographer that did the videography every single month. We met the 10 men that were in the temporary role of being bodyguards, and they said, don't worry, we're on the job. So everything went very well. The waiters and waitresses came out, they started serving the food, the introduction was given, the talk was given, and about 20 minutes into the talk, all of a sudden, the atmosphere changed. The speaker, there was only one speaker that night, yours truly, and she had said, and Sai Baba is a supreme being. He is the creator of the cosmos. He knows and loves every single one of you. He knows everything you've done in every single lifetime, and he loves you anyway. Now, my friend Pat has said, now you know Houston is the buckle on the Bible Belt, but we are not going to have any adversity regarding your talk. Everybody is craving, they're hungry to hear about Sai Baba. And they're all different religions represented, and they understand this is not a cult, so don't worry. Then we said, and he is the father of Jesus. He's the father of Gautama Buddha. He is the father of all the saints and sages, east and west, and of all of us. And he loves us all maximally. Every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future. There's nothing we could ever do to make him not love us. He says that there are no truly unlovable people. That everybody has something that he's discovering and learning, and that people that seem to be evil are just confused. He loves us, and he asks us to love each other and to love ourselves. He is God. That is the good news. And then all of a sudden there was this roar and a crash. And the videographer yanked the camera off of the tripod, threw it on the ground, stamped on it, kicked over the tripod, and said, "No! I won't have it! No! She is the Antichrist. She is Antichrist. She is Jim Jones in a skirt. We have to kill her. Come on, everybody. Let's choke her to death. Come on, come on. We have to stop her. We have to shut her up. We have to kill her." I'm thinking, the Antichrist. Oh, well, that's a new one. Okay. So, what's the drill? Stand still. Send love. Open the chakras. Be still. He started rushing up toward the stage, and you know what happened then? The 10 ex-football players stood up, like one wall of gigantic, well-muscled protoplasm, and they surrounded him, picked him up, and took him into the hall opposite where the stage was. The door was open, and while the speaker was continuing, and the people were eating their dinner, and they were listening to the speaker, and they were looking at the hall, and the fellows were very, very loud, saying, "Now, son, you shouldn't ought to have done that. Now, this nice little lady comes all the way from Colorado, and you're making assassination noises. Now, you know, we Texans are very hospitable. That's not the Texas way. We don't do that in Houston. Now, son, we have to teach you a little lesson." I'm thinking, oh, please, don't hurt him. Oh, please. Baba says he's just confused. There are no really evil people through and through. They're just confused. So they pushed him up against the wall. I thought, oh, no, don't be violent with him. And they said, "Now, son, we're going to have the rescue squad come any minute, and they're going to come in with a gurney and a nice white little straitjacket, and they're going to put you in it, and they're going to strap you in that gurney, and they're going to take you to the hospital, and then they're going to give you a little shot so you can go to sleepy time. And then after that, when you wake up tomorrow, you can contemplate that it's not very nice to make assassination noises to people from out of town. It's just not our way." So, meanwhile, we're still giving the talk, and everybody's eating and looking back and forth. It's like a tennis match, just like that. So we finished the talk, and the siren started roaring down the street. And then the double doors sprang open, and a gurney came rushing in, and 2 EMTs in white outfits came and said, "Where's the guy? He's over there." And they said, "Okay, son, now, this is not going to hurt. Just stand still." And all the football players were on top of him, sitting on him, on top of a massage table in the back of the room. They strapped him into a straitjacket, crossing his arms. I thought, I've never seen this done before. That's very interesting. And so then they lifted him up like a giant log, plopped him down on the gurney, strapped him across the neck, across the chest, across the waist, across the thighs, and they said, "You're going to be sleeping pretty soon here, son." And then they rushed him out. I thought, oh, Swami, do we really need to have this much drama every time we do a talk for him? Well, we had a very happy time, a lovely, gracious weekend, and we kept talking all through. We assumed that we had passed the test. We didn't know there would be more of these. 2 years later, we were invited to speak at the Global Sciences Congress to about 600 people about the life and teachings and miracles of Satya Sai Baba. People came from all over the world for that. There were scientists and healers of all sorts and many alternative practitioners, and it was a very lovely experience to be with them. This time we had no warning whatsoever that there was another aspect of the lesson. We did the talk, we had a book signing, signed the books, and then I looked at my watch and realized, oh my, it's 11 o'clock at night. And then I looked around and realized I was alone in the auditorium. Even the security guard had gone, and that the lights over the seats had been turned out. So I thought, oh, well, I better just go outside, get the car, pull it up, throw open the hatchback, put the book boxes in, and then get home, because I'll be getting home after midnight. So I did that, and then had the thought, I wonder if I left anything in there. I have my purse, I've got the keys, everything that I came with. We better just go inside and check. So we stepped inside the room one more time, and all of a sudden, in the darkness, the air was crackling. And I could tell I wasn't alone, and that there was a man in there with me, and he was angry, and he was walking stealthily forward. And the next thing I knew, he started screaming, "I'm going to kill you! I'm going to choke you! I'm going to break your neck! And I will do it! How dare you say that Sai Baba is God? I am a Christian, and everybody knows that only Jesus is God. He is the Son of God, and that only through him is the way to heaven. Baba in the same sentence. How dare you? Who do you think you are? And as he approached, he was about 4 feet away. And I said, I love you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. You are lovable. He said, I am not. Don't talk to me that way. You can't love me. You don't even know me. I said, there comes a point in a person's life where it's easy to love everybody. People you don't know, people you do know. It's easy to love everybody because everybody is lovable. He said, I won't have it. I won't have it. Don't you talk to me that way. And I said, the only thing missing from this equation of God loving you, Jesus loving you, my loving you, is the fact that somehow or other you don't love yourself. So whatever it is, brother, that you did, that you think was so horrible, that you think God could not love you, if you just drop that idea, drop that story, then you will feel peace in your heart. If you will love and accept yourself, you'll be able to love and accept anybody. That's all you need to do. And he screamed out, I will not. I'm going to kill you now. So as he lurched forward, all of a sudden, it was as if he became very disoriented. He reached out his hands toward my neck. I was standing there extending love, and then he lurched backwards and went screaming down the aisle in the dark, saying, no, 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 never. I won't have it. I won't have it. And I said, Bob, please pray for that poor, please take care of that confused soul. I am praying to you, Lord. Please help him. I know you're going to help him. You know your job. I don't need to ask you to do something you're already doing. He needs love. He needs comforting. He needs help. He needs therapy. He needs so much. He's so tortured. He's so violent. He's so unaccepting of what he is. The next lesson Baba had for us